Hey guys, you've arrived. It's Lady Hippy at the bar. As you can see, well, probably sometimes you can see I'm on the edge of the outer part of the bar where the guests will sit. We have a nice big bar at the house. And as you can tell from the title, I'm the Lady Hippie. I'm sitting here at the bar. I love talking to everybody. Hurt myself last year, almost exactly a year ago, broke my leg in three places. One of the most terrible injuries one can sustain in a leg, and hope to still walk again. And finally, in the last couple of months, lots of physical therapy. Yes, my guys, I have a lot of them. My cats love to do this. So they're going to pop through, kind of ignore and know it's my thing. So this is the first day technically that I've been back since last September. It was kind of cute. My surgeons kept seeing me, kept seeing me, kept seeing me. And then one day they came to me and they said, we got good news for you. You can now wear shoes. We're cutting you loose. So I had like 7, 8 months without putting any pressure on that leg. And that was fun. To learn how to balance on one leg again was not hard at 20. I know I had an injury like that. Doing that at my age, geez Louise, you gotta be kidding me. I could go like 6 seconds. And I'm like, catch me, catch me. And so I just kind of messed around and kept myself bedridden almost. I mean, for when you couldn't use the leg too, you got to imagine how much that hurt. It took a month because of the hurricane that hit on the day of the surgery. So we didn't get the surgery. So it took a month before they even did the surgery. And I've got more metal in me than the bionic woman because I went to an airport, a couple of weeks ago and I set off everything, all the bells, the whistles, the lights was flashing. I want to do that every once in a while just for fun. Just keeps them on their toes. So I had to have new equipment. Again, cats. It kind of says it's like pirate. It says so. I wondered what I would talk about when I got up here after it had been in a year, and hopefully, guys know this for just entertainment purposes only. No, I do not make any money. Would love to subscribe if you want to. It's free. You can get out of it in 10 seconds. I know I did it. I worried about YouTube, and I'm grateful that we can still have this platform to get up there as regular people and go, "What the hell are you doing?" Okay, I served my country. I did. Why does somebody from Uruguay get to stay in a five-star hotel? I can't afford to stay in a five-star hotel. And as you can tell from my age, I am retired. We, yes, I'm just running through that money. And if you believe that I've got a bridge, I'm really not using it anymore. Cheap. So if you're wondering, if you haven't seen me before, I like to say that I have a stiffener. And there's a story behind that, and I'm so sorry to have to do this occasionally. This is a fireball, a whiskey fireball, and I love these things. That power cinnamon. And when I was growing up, everybody had some type of capsule of ammonia because the women would faint. If my mother saw blood, she was out. You're in there stitching your leg yourself. We didn't do doctors when I was growing up. Put some mercurochrome on that shit and get out. But it's my foot. Was so good. So, how much childhood? I don't know how the last childhood with my grandson, I freaked. The schools got so bad, and they were bad by the time my son entered school. I loved school. And after I had come out of school and went into the military, um, they changed certain things, and suddenly schools were just, it was stupid to even send them there. They could learn more at home reading the Montgomery catalog. And for those of you who are old enough, you know what I mean by that. And so, and then my grandson struggled, my son struggled so much that I actually let him just get the GED. It was faster, and he was blown it away anyway. Um, my grandson, I did manage to just and make him graduate. He was in ROTC. He knew I had served in the Army, and he wanted to follow my footsteps. And I was really scared because we were still at war at that point. So we went through ROTC, and he enlisted in the Army, and then he got out of the Army. Most of us don't last more than 3, 4, 5 years. I loved it because it had a lot of power, and it was very controlling in some ways. And and it felt good to serve the country. So I'm going to have a bit of my stiffener before I finish up. Today's going to be a short one, I believe. And anyway, toodles.
Understand that just because Mozart is great does not mean you cannot build on Mozart. That just because the great buildings are great.
I feel like Bill Maher. Here I thought I was the only one at the bar.
I would urge.
And then recently I found that I wasn't the only one at the bar. You can see me looking helplessly because I need a lighter. And I don't know where I put it. We're going to pause for a second, if it will let us.
And that if people wish to join us in the veneration of this,
not letting us.
they are very, very willing to do so.
Maybe I could try editing.
Join us. There are other places.
Good gracious, good gracious. How could I have lost both of them?
Everybody knows that.
Well, thanks for putting up with that. I'm not in a very big place. This is a very small home compared to the homes we always had. Oh, we still have, we have 3 bedrooms, 2 baths, a full bath. Closets that are really shoe boxes. So it was built in 85. I was looking at Elon Musk's homes. I love those things. I just love those things. I keep thinking, I couldn't get a new dish or a plate because I throw out something to let it get when having your room. So I'm still thinking of get one of them. One of them was only like $8,000-$9,000, and you could hook it up and move it. You could leave it on stationary land, and it was awesome. It's freaking awesome. I loved it. My problem's going to be, I've been warned kind of, I'm going to have to do this too, about my hip. Apparently, the bones aren't doing well, the bone density. So I may have to have a right hip replacement. Now, I've had surgery on both eyes. Then I turned around and I had one of the most horrific injuries on my leg as you can get. And I'm finally standing. And I put my weight in and do all this. My ankle was semi-detached. On top of that, waiting a month. When I went to see the surgeon that first day, it was exactly a month. And he said, "You've been on this waiting for a month, and I need you to come. In fact, let's just do all your tests right now, your EKG, all of that. And I want you in here. I want you on the 5 o'clock staff. You'll be the first patient for surgery." And I was like, because I had this stuff to get done, even though I couldn't do anything really. So within less than 10 hours, he had a team working on my leg. It was amazing. They blocked one of the nerves in my leg, so that even though I was out of it, I mean, they did the anesthesia, but they also numbed the entire leg. I mean, you couldn't feel it. You could poke it all day long. It's like they cut it off. It was wicked. And I didn't go to sleep as fast as they wanted. I kept taking the little thing off and going, hey, why you tying me down? And they do. They do. On the one side, upper and, one side of the other leg. I guess they probably did the leg that was, operating on as well. They said it would take a couple of hours. It took them almost 12 hours, I think it was, too. There's these L-shaped brackets on my ankles, they go up about, I think they're 5-6 inches, and they go up, and then they took a pin about this size, and they pounded that or screwed that through the 2 bones in the leg, the tibia and the fibula. And the ankle, which had detached, that was the 3rd break. That was the reason for all the brackets, and then the screws, and then so we have the technology. That's all I can say. I decided I wasn't going to go back to podcasts. I'm seeing more and more podcasters come up. I also am, and I'm not one, and I've seen many that I love. I'm subscribing to them and have for years. I usually do not play videos and comment on what so-and-so said. I give a shit. If you want to see those, be my guest. The whole point on mine is you can talk about anything and everything, and we all need to talk. Now, I understand they're restricting that kind of shit in Britain. So if you say something about, really Could we send the guys that are murdering folk back to their place of origin, or even, but you could put them in jail. Could you, stop doing this crash and run? And could you? What they've locked up everything. I don't even know how they're stored anymore out there. Even in my Walmart was small. They expanded it recently, and everything has locks on it. Everything. So you got to wait 20 minutes to get each thing. Yeah. Mine isn't that bad yet, but they're working on it. So, and I'm seeing all of this, and I'm like, what the hell? Yes, they did not need any more ideas to do something about 500,000 people a day coming across a week. I mean, they're saying whatever they're saying. I know we got 100 million here probably. I came back from serving in Europe in the Army in the 80s. And when I got back, I was looking around me and I was thinking, because I was going through different airports. It's a bit of a plane ride from Germany. I was in Germany. And I said, this isn't good. Now, I happened to be overseas when they hit Rome. These were the first of the terrorists was 70s. Ages me again. Thank you very much. And they hit the Roma airport and they killed everybody that was in the waiting area. And I had just flown out of there, believe it or not, about an hour and 10 minutes prior to that. I mean, we literally had been standing there. And I was holding my baby. I had a baby. He was born in Germany. Both his parents were in the military, and we were both in Germany. He did have dual citizenship until he was 33. And he was very glad when that was over. Don't ask me. I agree with him. He's not military type material. But his grandson did well. I'm sorry, his son, my grandson. So I thought, well, what do I want to talk to everybody about? What is going on? That's what I asked. When I remember when this was going on, back before I injured myself, I had started my new podcast in January of last year. Yeah. And I used to broadcast every day just to piss somebody off. And, just to see who's out there. What do they think? What the hell's going on the planet? And what you see behind me, by the way, I can see in the camera myself. That's my son and my husband's. I bought it for Father's Day for him. He wanted a trollable or traveler or whatever you want to call him case for his equipment. He's a mechanic. So I bought one that literally folded way out. It has wheels, has all that stuff, and it folds way out like an accordion, both that. So plenty of room for whatever it was. Because people call him all the time, come help me out here or whatever. And he's a good guy and he's a good mechanic. How the little bastard left it there? I don't have a lot of living room, what you can see. Anyway, it's a small home. The barn takes up so much room that I had to get rid of the furnishings inside the dining room and conduct the table went, all that stuff went, and he got me a new china cabinet that was like what I had for two china cabinets fit in there easily. So we did all this. He ripped out all the carpets because I had pretty much shampooed the carpet out. It was just the bottom. He got stage 4 throat cancer, so every day I was antisepticizing the house. It was, oh my God. So yeah, it's been that bad. I mean, he's finally beat the cancer. Yay! He rang the bell, and then I break the leg. Just before that, I was recovering from eye surgery. I had double eye surgery. Well, one at a time. It's the double eye surgery. So I had one hell of a year last year. I mean, I was smoking it, literally. So I said, okay, there's so many podcasts on, and they're really getting to the nitty gritty. I mean, they finally been saying that shit for 40 years, 80s, as I was saying. I came through those airports, and I thought, if I was a terrorist, there'd be thousands dead in there. Every time I hear that a terrorist hits something, I wonder how come the body count's so small. In my eyes, it's like it has to be God and his angels, in particular in Israel, because the bomb will blow up the shelter and they come walking out. And I can't imagine, and I've been in the army, I can't imagine raising my kid in a country that has to have bomb shelters in their house, but they don't have any weapons. And that's the other word I have for the Israelis. God bless you. God love you. God keep you safe, and may your memories always be a blessing. But arm your people, arm them. If they're anywhere within that border, I mean, if they are 40 clicks from the border with Gaza, arm them. And I know you've taken them out on the ones on the West Bank, but there's still some. And of course, the South is getting pounded. Um, America has been shitty as far as I'm concerned. They finally sent some javelins. That's been a big help, but you see what I mean. I understand that they, you can't, as a country, even we can't just keep giving away things. We can't keep being the only ones that are peacekeepers. We can't keep doing it. North Alliance Treaty Organization, or I'm sorry, North American Treaty Organization, does nothing. I don't know why we pay them. NATO should be gone, as far as I'm concerned. They've overdone it. The UN, I saw the UN going to find out, about the relief packages. So they were sending in the trucks. They weren't running back because people started shooting at them. They jumped in their car and took the hell off. So this is why the Gazans are starving. It's not the Israelis. And I want you to name me any war at all, whether America, British, who, I don't give a damn who. You can go back to Spartans at Thermopylae. But I guarantee you they wasn't feeding the other damn side that was killing them. They didn't do that. Now, one army. Oh, we have company again. There he is. He's trying to fix that. He's waving. He's trying to get some stuff done, but today it's going to rain all day long. I can't believe that either. So he bought me a new set. Everything's new again because it had been so long since I broadcasted last time. And we have cats. And we have him. And that's Robert. Um, and they had chewed on the axle cord. Had we, I have an Ace Mechanic. We didn't even look at it. It was just, here's your new set. And so the set's new. And the only thing wrong was that the the coaxial cord to the microphone. So that was what was wrong. Well, then I really couldn't do a hell of a lot for the last almost year now. I'm grateful that next year will be a year. I actually broke it right after Labor Day and my birthday. So I'm hoping this year for my birthday it'll feel a little better. It stays like this. The ankle does. And
What's my price?
and so yeah, I'm getting points from my husband. Like I said, it's not a very big home, and so we do what we can. I've seen worse, guys. I've seen worse. Okay, let me go ahead and anybody in top chat today. Okay, we'll go to live chat today. Let's see what's going on in here. Yes, that's a good question. I have Lily here for. She doesn't say where, and some of these run by so fast I can't catch them. So if I don't see you and I go back over it, I try to make attention and let you know less. If you have a question, please, like send it in the comments or whatever. But live chat's now engaged, and the question was, why is Israel expected not only to feed them, shelter them, and so forth, and they have. They've sent leaflets. They've made corridors of safety. And what happened? They came shooting out with under burqas. You thought it was a female. It was a guy in a burqa. You think you've got hostages surrendering, and they got a bunch of women there because they're burqa. They're covered. And the minute you go to take your hostages and try to see if you can help the women, you're dead because they don't. They lit your ass up. It's a horrible situation what's going on, and I fear for both sides. It's too long. It's been over. It's almost a year, but they took over 200 hostages, and the ones we did, I think they said they got back. Prime Minister Netanyahu, I think he said they got back 145. So I can't keep that where it's not too bad because I haven't done anything over there. So they got that many back. They killed over 1,200 that day and the next, October 7th and 8th. Nobody's talking about that. Nobody's talking about the beheadings of babies and others and parading them around. This was all filmed on GoPro, and it's so bad that the Israelis uh, have saved us from seeing this. The stories alone are so horrific that it takes my breath away. I spoke about this last year when it happened, and I could not, and I still can't get over the fact that most of the people that are protesting. I'll put it that way. They don't know where the river is. They don't know what sea it is. They don't even know anything about the surrounding countries. But we are killing Palestinians, and we have to be stopped. Now, my grandson, who I technically erased, came in spouting that same shit. I said, "No, we were screaming at each other within 30 seconds." He wasn't the kid I knew. Suddenly, and that's just I give you a small version. I'm like, what's going on with the colleges? What's going on with the university? I said, where are your people? Where are the teachers? Where's your staff saying you can't do this? You cannot paint on the library books. You can't barricade people from getting into a classroom. You can't chase Jewish people across the lawn. That's just freaking Harvard. And they found out they get 2.5 billion from the taxpayer. We can't even go to the frickin' school. No. Now, I'm not sure what happened between Donald Trump and Elon Musk because I'm going to try to jump and jump. And it's a pity. I think that they did him wrong at that point. They really did. And he lashed out like a kid when he was on that interview, which was the last time he was seen with President Trump, which was, oh, you're from what paper? What did you do? Oh, yeah, you did that. No, we don't want to talk to you. I said, oh, shit. I knew from that one line in his body language, it was, oh, shit time. Something happened to put these two apart. Sure enough, then he goes on with everything's you're going to have the cameras pick this up. You have redone this so beautifully. There's gold everywhere. It's on everything. And I said, oh, here we go. I mean, I knew instantly this was not a good thing. And then it was, on X, he was on the bunny plane, whatever they want to call it. He was out there with them girls. Well, he's a businessman. And technically, I don't know whether that's a problem. The other thing I can't figure out is how women who were 15, supposedly, they were used as call girls, waited until the 2020s to say, this guy did this to me 40 years ago. Could we go to court? We had a deer hit us on the road, right? Free, knocked the car over, 3 Sundays, and they tell us they're not going to cover that as an act of God. I was like, only time I actually used an attorney won the case, but my point being is there's something going on, you're not getting paid for it. And because they tried the low ball thing of like $350, and the car was insured for $12,800. I love that car. Had the pop-up lights. It was so good. It was trash. So these, this was in the past, but this stuff has been growing. I watched nothing. This is the third generation. I see my granddaughter now walking around like this. Hi, how you doing? Come give me a hug. I'm like, can't you glance away for a second from that thing? Sure, Grandma. It's like that's good. That's pretty good. So all of this is going on. The Ukraine is still being attacked. They've lost 1.5 million people. Donald Trump has sealed the border. He's done what he said he was going to do. I personally find it really funny. I've been pulling up some old clips of Ronnie Reagan, who was he was hysterically funny, that man. He really was. Pick up some of his clips. And I love doing the comedian thing, too, before I come out. It helps to keep things rolling in a good mood. I don't have a guest. And if I did have a guest, they wouldn't be a starlet or a stardom or a star. There wouldn't be any of that because I'm just a regular housewife now, retired. And this is the format that I chose to do something about retirement. And that was to speak out and say, guys, if you got a problem with the same things the rest of us do, if nothing else, we can stay in touch this way. You can throw it in the comments. You can do something with live chat, anything you'd like to do. I know that all of us in the last 4 years, and I actually quit Facebook a couple of years ago, in particular through the absolute hard recovery I've had. For several reasons, most of which, whatever polls I put in there, they would take them out. You can come look for the explanation over here. And I was like, oh, F you. I was talking about the kitchen. What the hell? So, okay, you keep that one. So I thought, well, everybody should be in here. We should all have a forum. We should all be screaming, what the hell's happening on campuses? Why universities? Why is everybody suddenly anti Semitic, anti Jewish, yada, yada, yada? But everybody else is prejudiced if they can't ram the things down your throat like they're trans or they're IGBBT and something Z. I don't give a damn what you say all that shit is. That's your problem. I got problems of my own, and I'm not screaming in your face telling you to fix my shit, boy. That's just stupid. And yet they're in the cops' faces doing this. They're doing the smash and grabs. I can't believe New York still has anything open. Anything. Foot Locker, they empty a foot. So I see all this going on, and at the same time, I find out that the teachers and stuff are bloody getting arrested along with those idiots. They don't. You can ask them, and I love the ones that took their lives in their hands and went in and said, what does the river to the sea mean? Well, they just want more land. Oh, okay. What river is it? Is it the Nile? I can't remember why. Well, what's the sea? Why? Well, you keep saying from the river to the sea, and now you're saying it so they'll get more land. What river, what sea are you talking about? They didn't know. No. Must have probably, and we only saw a couple of those, but he probably interviewed 500 people. Dumb as a box of rocks. I mean, all of us have half a sandwich side of a picnic. So they were. And the one bench says, excuse me, never mind, kids aren't allowed here. The sea is the Mediterranean, and the river is the Jordan. Do you know where those are? They're in the Middle East. They didn't even know what they were a second ago, but they're all. Come on. One of the girls was asked a question, who was the first person to walk on the freaking sun? Bitch was trying to figure it out. Things like crack me up. I'm like, what the hell did you learn? They had him printing by the time my grandson left. He was using a pencil and had to print it. And I was on his ass saying, you can't do that. You're a senior. I find out like 4 years later, oh, yeah, that's what they're doing. They get rid of cursive. And I screamed at my grandson a couple of times about that. Don't turn that shit in. You're not 6, We weren't even allowed a pencil after 4th grade. You were writing that shit, ain't you? If you didn't like it, you could start over. Very different education system. I think most of us need to stand up since we've got all these people wanting to push all their shit down our faces. Enough. Freedom of speech does not give you the right to get in my face and tell me how wonderful you are because you're this, that, or Orthodox. I don't care. And you don't have the right to get in my face. And this is the other thing I don't understand. Like I was watching a very nice get together in Britain, in London, and then they were saying, please send these migrants. How we can afford this? They couldn't go to the hotel and stay the night. And these people go for a year, 2 years, and these, I think it was Ireland, or maybe it's Scotland. I don't pay a lot of attention. In any event, they had them up there, and suddenly the police are arresting the good guys, as far as I know, and saying that's hate speech. And 11 cops grabbed this one boy, and sign strapped on, and took him to jail and charged him. He had to bail out. But the 450 Palestinians wearing kafirs on their heads and stuff. And by the way, that's not allowed, ladies. The kafirs are for men. They have nice sharp machetes for your head. You should go visit. You want to send people over there so bad. Why don't you go visit and look for an apartment complex you can bring your friends to? You dumbasses. You make America look so stupid. Every one of you should hang your head in shame. And I heard another one that said, would you fight for your country if you needed to, if we were attacked? No. They said no. What? This is if you're attacked. I'm like, okay. And this wasn't just one. Many and many, and these were on the college and university campuses. I was gobsmacked. I was just blown away. What the shit? Where are the parents? Why are they beating the piss out of them? They're spending $100,000 a year. They have mortgaged their house, took on a second job so their kid could get there. And this is what they do. And they just like this river to say they didn't know. And when they're trying, they were for gay pride. And they're told, you realize that they do not permit gays. They cut their heads off, throw them off in buildings. They always have a crowd. Gay people are not allowed. Well, but I'm sure we have trends and we have all that. Okay, let me tell you the broadest perspective here. You tried this shit in Palestine. For one thing, you won't get this far. They have guns too, and they aren't afraid to use them, and they do shoot down people on a daily basis. In Palestine, there's so much as a lock of heresy, and the woman is taken to the prison, gang raped, and then murdered. If you don't believe me, it's on Google. Everything's on Google. The other thing I heard was people saying, they didn't get all this done. They didn't burn babies alive. They didn't behead children in front of their parents. They didn't tie their parents to their children and set the place on fire. No, they didn't do that. They didn't. They GoPro'd that shit, boy. I mean, come on. At what point do you go, it could be? And like I said, I was screaming about this then. They just have an obsession with Jews and Israel. Lovely orange juice this morning. So I just popped in basically said the world's still shit. As far as I'm concerned, Clinton started that anyway. Nobody else seems to remember this, but I'm going to put it out there anyway. 9/11, when it happened, I didn't hear about anybody but Saudi Arabians being there. And since then, I've only heard the bell ring for those who died in New York and the towers. I'm also trying to figure out how those other buildings come down because the towers came straight to hell down. They bothered not a building. It was like watching a construction site blow up the old casino, the Taj Mahal. I mean, it was. I saw Molten Steel movie, and which also I would think would not make it go straight down, but they did. There's a building 7 that also was lost, and it too pancaked. It just nothing hit that thing. There was no flames, no nothing hit it. One man talked about the fact that his brother had gone up. I think it was the 73rd floor. It was when the first plane hit. And he said, we're fine. We got hoses on it. It's just 2 fires. We're fine. We got this. Go ahead and start getting, in other words, survivors and so forth. Get them out of the building. 30 seconds later, the whole place collapsed. It was 386 firemen. I don't know how many other first community responders that they got. There was a lot. And suddenly we went to war. You're supposed to have Congress approve war. But even Pearl Harbor was hit, and they still had to get approval from Congress. FDR made a speech. Congress voted on it. We could go to war. That works out. Supreme commander of everything, including the military, cannot say, well, we're kind of pissed you took out the Second Fleet, here in the Pacific. So we're going to have to. And that's what Israel did, basically. Sent leaflets out, made corridors that were safe, and they didn't leave. Because Hamas told them, if you leave, we'll find you and we'll kill you. And I'm keeping your kids. So they didn't leave. Of all the hostages that were in there, I saw a video yesterday of a Jewish boy in the tunnel digging his own grave. I don't know how the Israelis do it. I really don't. If I were younger, I'd be there. I doubt there's very many more hostages alive, if there are any. And that would be, I believe they're still holding 48 bodies. This is it just beggars belief that not only will you take these young innocent people, some children, one mother and her brother children were killed, and the husband was hostage. And apparently they must have killed them in front of him or something. And he was probably grieving. And they told him, shut up, you get another wife and babies. It's a death cult. One of my favorite, and I'm going to say it here, Douglas Murray. I love the guy. He's great. If you haven't seen him, just put Dennis Murray in, and you'll see him and hear it. And his books are fantastic. He's from Britain. He's immigrated to America, and he's a war correspondent, journalist slash author. I mean, he's been there. He's been there through the War of 2004, I think it was, and then I think it was 2017, and then of course the attack on the October 7th in 2024. And he went each time. And I see he got buffed up as he went. I like him. I like his material. I like how he speaks. Victor Harris, how's his name? Victor Harris Davis. Sorry. So that's another one you should check out. One of his insights, or I call it insight, but anyway, is The Blade of Perseus. I think that's his YouTube. It might be Instagram, but just look for wherever, whatever search engine you use, it'll pull you up. And if I were you, I would read it all. I would watch, and it's amazing. And Douglas Murray is also a great public speaker, and so is Victor Davis Hanson. He is an amazing man. He still has the farm that 5 generations farmed. His siblings also had parcels, but they sold it and moved. It's gotten that bad. They're in California, so you can imagine all those homes that built, they burned down. That Trump came in and said, "I'm waiving all the regulations. They're not going to have to wait 4 years to get a permit to tear down a wall because it might have asbestos in it. That's enough. They get to rebuild, not in years, days, weeks at tops. They still can't. They still can't remove the debris. What the hell?" So there's plenty to talk about. When I say I bored everybody probably for a little bit longer than normal. This is a forum where we can stand the hell up and say, you cannot do this again. Now, again, I'm old. I'm not a young chick. That's cool with me. That's why it's a hippie at the bar. The hippies ain't been around that damn long. They kind of had to assimilate. They had to go, 3 jobs, a couple of kids, and do a lot to fight City Hall. We're not making hundreds of thousands a month. We're not using different health care. We're dying trying to make sure we get through 3 so that we can get our kids set up. I mean, it's that bad. And yet, they still there. They wield, what was her name? I can't think of her name offhand, but it must have really hit. And anyway, Diane Feldstein, Diane something. Well, she was in a bed, a hospital bed. They wheeled her in so she could vote no, and they could carry the majority against Trump. They wheeled her in. Nancy Pelosi breaks the hip. They operate on her. Suddenly you see her with a cane, and she's back. These are 80 plus people. They've been there 40 years. Why? Who's electing them constantly? Who's getting to do that? I don't know anybody that does, but there they are. Term limits are needed. Americans need to stay beside Israel. Well, we did when they attacked Iran, but they did the hard work, and they're damn good pilots. The IAF. Like I said, if I was younger, I'd done been there. This is almost biblical as far as I'm concerned. Not to try to war everybody.
Yes, Noom combines medication and healthy habits so you can lose the weight and keep it off.
And they guarantee it. Sustainable weight loss? Yes.
At this point, there's only 27 hostages maybe alive. After seeing that video, I'd have bombed the fuck out of the place. There wouldn't have been a goddamn thing standing. You still want to live in Gaza now? It's pretty much that way up to Rafah. Egyptians won't let them in. Saudis won't let them in. Turkey won't let them in. Yemen won't let them in. Armenia won't let them in. There's not one Muslim country that let these bitches in because they don't want that shit. So Israel is having to go house to house trying to get Hamas, Hezbollah, and all this. They're firing at ships on the Red Sea. I think that's the Houthis in Africa. Red Sea is a major shipping route. So, gosh, you shouldn't more because they had to go the long way so they didn't get shot at or pirates board. It's just, of course, much worse. People killed. And Donald Trump, I believe, just sent a couple of battleships. Maybe only one was needed, and told them we own the Panama now. And if you want to go through the Suez and you want to shoot at people and be pirate, we can take you out with a bullet. And I saw some video, and this guy was with the boat, and the guy that was manning the big gun up on top of the ship just went one bullet. Obviously, it was some kind of mortar around, but it's still funny as hell to me. They probably picked up survivors if there were any. If you're going to do that stupid shit, take a knife to a gunfight, don't expect to live. Be right with your God that you're trying to cram down my damn ass. I'm tired of hearing the shit. And YouTube, what the hell is the fact that you are now holding us prisoners with 180 seconds? Why don't you just say 4 hours of commercials through stuff because you want us to pay now to see this? Knock it off. You should be ashamed. All of us have been watching YouTube and supporting YouTube for many, many, many years. And now, again, here's another one that's just giving us shit for no reason. I'd like to know why I'm supposed to pay an insurance company for just the car alone, $2,000 a year. I've never even had a ticket. At $2,000 a year at my age, they like bill me a lot of money. You gonna get that back? No. I paid Medicaid, Social Security, all that. You're gonna get it back to folks? No, you're not. I'll tell you now, you're not. My husband was on disability. He survived it. Now we're both on Social Security because we're retired. We're at that age. Yet he has to go through Humana. He has to pay Humana so that his Medicaid's Part A and B both work. See, Part A only covers the hospital. So if you go in, like me, with my broken leg, thinking it wouldn't matter, and the VA had problems, that's not the way it works. You got to pay them cash because this was a doctor's hospital. And if you didn't have cash and you didn't have the insurance that would pay the cash, they couldn't help you. So I ended up, back through the VA, and they got me into Augusta University, and by God, they did a good job. Again, the ankle's like this every day, but we'll work it out. Excuse me. It's been a while since I've been up here. There were so many topics. I enjoyed Bill Maher. I got angry at Bill Maher, and I quit watching him about 8 years ago. Probably when he's not politically correct because he was so far left. I don't understand until recently what this far left and far right, what all this shit meant. I freaked out when they tore a 4-star general to pieces on made up shit. And I watched for years as he fought, losing his home and everything else. This is a 4-star general, folks. If they can do that to a 4-star general, you frick up. I mean, if you screw up that way. If they could do it to a 4-star general, they could avenge shit against any of us. I don't know if you remember, but I think it was another movie besides Matrix. But Matrix isn't bad. I like the movies. It's just not as close as I want to say it. It's a little Orwellian 84, but it's beyond that. All your posts to listen to, what you buy, they know everything. 'Cause that's what's on your mini computer. They know your searches. They know everything. And they, of course, keep the records of that. God, you wouldn't think there'd be room, but that's what they do. I don't hear anything about helping Israel. I just don't get it. Why are these college and university students running around preaching hate? They want an intifada. That's what it means. They wanted to kill everyone in Israel from the river to the sea. Then they want to kill everybody in Europe that's not Muslim. And by the time they get done with that, as he put it when they got in the UN succinctly, they would get America. America would fall from within, and they would be set to Sharia law, and they would be done this way by using their own laws against them. We will send people, and they sent thousands when Biden was using an auto pen and couldn't find his way out of the closet. another huge thing that Americans have to deal with. Britain's put people in jail for saying what I'm saying. I watched a guy, it looks like, weekend at fucking Bernie's, and he's running the country. He's not running anything. The man couldn't get out of the closet, so who the hell is running the country? Probably the same dude that set up a four-star general and destroyed him. I think that would probably be the beloved Barack Obama. Pity, I give you that, because I liked the guy. I thought he had style, class, intelligence, all that time. He was really good at that. I gave him kudos for that, but I hope they make all of them sing like canaries. I think everything they own should be taken from them and given back to the treasury that they stole it from. The same with the USAID. Just, and they managed to recover billions. And then, of course, there's the Elon and Trump's fallout, which I mentioned earlier. I do hope they get back together. I don't think they treated him right. He was there as a patriot. He used his own money. He's the one that put together Doge. He's the one that he spent almost $400,000 on Donald's campaign in Pennsylvania. But they said, "Oh no, that doesn't kind of matter thing. It doesn't matter if the money didn't matter. It doesn't matter. It matters that this guy was a top businessman. He's the top billionaire. He's the top inventor, and you treat him like shit. Like, I don't know what happened to you, but as far as I can see, he was treated like shit, and they're not telling us why. I'd like to know that one. I believe it was over the big beautiful bill. And by the way, all of us seniors, look at your taxes if you can figure them out. I doubt it. They had a lot of new arithmetic in there. It's bigger than it used to be for those non-tax seniors. Look at that with your auditor, with whoever does your taxes. It's very amazing how they work that out. Adding math, all of this, you don't get a tax break. They're still taking your taxes on Social Security. I like Ron DeSantis in Florida. I think they did manage to get some headway as to you would not be taxed on your home once you paid for it. Finally, I mean, after all this time, I've been screaming, give back my money on insurance, give back my money on Medicaid, because fuck it, I got to pay for it anyway. And I used the VA, so I want my money. You're not getting that shit. And there's a few others. And so, like, the car insurance, I want that shit back. Until I was 36, at 18, 19, I drove when I was in the military. And then I didn't drive. I used mass transit because I lived in huge cities, and it was massively expensive to own a vehicle. And I was still young and had a kid, and I was on my own. And so, here I'm out of the Army, and I'm ready to run back in, but I can't because I had a kid. It turned out well enough, but I used to have a lot of fun drinking with the senators and telling me you better shut up or run because I said I'd kill you. Well, Senator Dole used to say that a lot. And they're right. Those of us who are speaking out, like Tammy Robinson, are getting put in jail. Those who are saying that Facebook, this is in Britain, all of this, and then they're taken to jail. They've actually got a task force now. So if you say these things, it's like hate speech or whatever the label. They come and get you, knock down the door, get you. In the United States, I'd like to pepper spray and taser parents who go, well, I was just talking. I'm allowed to. They're not talking anymore. They were pissing their pants and drug out. They can't do that anymore. I fear that the minute that this president leaves, it's going to be really, really bad. And it's been a really, really bad year. But at the same time, I'm going to come back and try to make some thoughts veer with the thoughts we were just talking about. So drop me a line, throw it in the comments. Let's talk about this. I don't think any of us want a socialist state, for God's sakes. We just want a state. And I don't think that we want people playing puppet in the White House. I'm maybe a little off center there, I'm hoping that things start working out. They seem to be doing so. I mean, they tried everything. They threw Trump at everything. I mean, well, threw stuff at Trump and a kitchen sink. It amazed me when he won. And I didn't vote this time. I was like, because last time I was like, I didn't vote for that. And I can't find anybody else who voted for Weekend at Bernie's. And I love not the politicians, but a couple, but the so-called journalists that are coming out going, well, I found that this day, about 10 days before the new president was sworn in, then President Biden seemed to be very lost all the time. And now you come out and say it. But Fox was saying that they were vilified. They were the only ones that said it, besides those of us doing this. I didn't do this again for the past year, almost. It's been a year. It will be a year into next month somewhere. And so I'm back for what everybody thinks that's worth. I had people that wanted to see these. Um, see, next time I'll try to make me a little badge that says talk about this finish and then move on to the next time. But I have my last stiffener before I get off. It's my only excuse to have one. Can you imagine being like me for a year without this leg and I still didn't hit it? It was a very long year.
Turns out all you needed was a new president. Yeah, that's going to go down in the history
I
books.
love
Because
those.
he's done it, as you say, in less than 100 days, border crossings are virtually zero. And we all know that immigration has been really a debacle for Western countries over the last half century. He's laying that bare.
Some of you are thinking the same thing I'm thinking, which is I'm watching my time. That they love their country, fought for their country, because we have millions of them. And I'm ashamed of my country. I think my country's just about gone. Had Trump not been elected and done the things that he's done, our country was in a fast slide to nothing. I can't even remember how many cities, Detroit and so forth, that Seattle, San Francisco, LA, Chicago. And I was born and raised in Chicago. I don't recognize it now. So I was wondering, hey, what do we do next? Well, there's not a hell of a lot we can do. Those people that were around protesting, they got paid. I don't know where the money comes. I kept screaming, follow the money and get the people that are actually teachers and so forth out of the rioting and put them away for a while. Make sure they're retired. Excuse me. They need to get rid of all of them. And you need to talk to parents who these kids are living at home in a tent at school. They're not doing it at school, they're living in a tent. And one girl was really cute. And when are you bringing the pizzas? We're hungry, kind of thing. You have to bring us food and water. No, we don't. The shit has to stop. We as citizens can't stand back. When good does nothing, evil tends to flourish. And I don't recognize my country anymore. I couldn't recognize my own grandson. I was yelling within like 2 to 3 minutes of him coming in. I was just yelling because he made no sense. He was on the side of Palestine, who had just committed the slaughters that they had done on October 7th. And mind you, these weren't just the military boys. This was everybody in the city could get through that wall. I'm sorry, it was chain link fence. Sorry. Well, a lot of people have asked Prime Minister Netanyahu why it took them so long to get there. He said he didn't know it was terrible. He had to find out, but first he had to win the war. And I agree. First things first. But the question still hangs. What took them so long? They fought. Those that could fight, they fought. They saved a lot of lives. Some of them didn't have a gun or nothing. They just came in and they knew different ways into the place and grabbed them and took them out. One case, one boy did it 3 times. On the 3rd time, they killed him and his passengers. He managed it twice, but he went back in. There are horrific stories that have come out, and I mentioned Douglas Murray. If you want to know the truth, and you want to stop letting your kids be indoctrinated while you pay $100,000, and as a taxpayer, I throw several billion to them every year, not to mention their trust funds, and they don't pay taxes. It's because they take our taxes. So all of that needs to be addressed. And I have yet to see that very often. I've seen it on those who can get stars and so forth. But those of us like me They're I'm just a regular person. I'm retired. I've served my country. But people like me, I would love to see some of you guys, come and chat with me. It'd probably take a while since I've not been on lately. There's a lot of good ones that I subscribe to, and I understand that. My microphones are it's not the microphone, it's my headphones. I may have to have new ones. They're just tinning in the back of the ear, so I'll have to check this footage and see if we got through that. So, I didn't think I'd be able to go an hour today, but I did. So, give me a hoot. Come on, guys. Some of you are family. I don't have any immediate family but my son and his family. But my husband has family. So those of you who are aware of us, give me a shout. Hit the like. Do something. Put a line in there. Tell me what's going on. What side you're on, too. I'm really curious as to that. Also, people are too afraid to say anything, and that's never been me. And yes, there's a gun next to my hand. Oh, all the time. All the time. And that's not my long gun, this is my revolver. And I'm not pulling out the weapons with the sights yet, or that'll paint you. But you're going to need to, people, if you keep letting this happen. Yes, there needs to be mass removal of the immigrants. And it's a kind word, they're here. They have caught so many murderers on just this one section. It's just, I'm gobsmacked. I'm like, how many? I loved it when they put the little, I don't know, those signs up the driveway walk of those they had caught. Murder, murder, incest. I was like, yeah. I thought it was a good move. But it's the amount of time. And so may your memory, as you were saying, be a blessing. Try to stand behind a country that is like ours. And it would be as if Canada was shooting missiles at us every night every day, every night. And they have their sounds. They've got to go, I think it's 20, 30 seconds to the nearest shelter. It's just a concrete bunker. It's just, and these, the 2-year-olds, they're running right to it. They know. This is the terrible way to raise your children. It's a terrible way to live. It's terrible what's going on in Gaza. It's got to be stopped. So you need Hamas to give the hostages back, give back the bodies of the hostages as well, and stop shooting at the Israelis. When you shoot at people, they tend to get a little pissed off. They don't like that. And then they go get bigger weapons. So knock it off. If it takes the United States to put boots on the ground, this is going to be a bad thing. Let's hope it doesn't take that. So I've come back. I used to do this podcast every day. I'm not sure I'll come out every day. You'll have to look. Lady Hippy at the bar, and it's spelled Hippy is spelled with a Y, not the I-E. It sounds that there's quite a few people who use that name. Well, that title. I use it because I sit at my bar. I have my snifter, and I get to say my piece. Luckily, I'm not one of those screamers yet. So may you all have a lovely day and help when you can. Our fellow people. When we're in a hospital, we're bleeding to death. We don't ask the doctor to bring us that white blood. We don't. I want that British blood. I take that Canadian blood. That's not how that shit works. I hate to tell y'all, but you end up with getting somebody's blood that works, be they purple. Why can't you do the same thing with people on the planet? We all bleed the same. Let's stop the bleed. There are children dying. There are children being starved to death by Hamas. Maybe we do need boots on the ground, but it's got to stop. And in the meantime, I've got to end. It's perfect timing, right? If there's something you want to see, if there's something you don't like, whatever, throw in the comments. I don't care. It's a good way to be. I just don't give a shit. Bill Maher, hey again. It was interesting seeing you interview a few people that I like politically felt. I didn't even know you had a podcast. I like it. Invite me. Just a regular woman going, hell yeah. Have a good one out there, everybody.